I just heard people screaming, help, help, help.
It's crazy. All you see is smoke.
This fire took its toll on our city.
A high-rise fire kills at least 19 people in the Bronx, nearly half of them children. Thick black smoke turning hallways into death traps as people try to escape. Tonight, stories of horror, survival, and bravery. Firefighters running out of oxygen. Families saved by complete strangers. Our team coverage of this devastating fire starts right now. Thank you for joining us. I'm Gilma Avalos. In a vertical city, it's every New Yorker's nightmare. Fire and smoke filling your apartment building. Tonight, the city grappling with its deadliest fire in more than 30 years. And that fire started on the 3rd floor. Flames burst through a window as firefighters pulled people out of the 19-story building. And watch how treacherous this was, that thick smoke shooting out of that same window. But everyone on that ladder survived. Firefighters racing to rescue people trapped on every floor. This new angle showing a firefighter's slow crawl down a ladder, carefully carrying a baby to safety. That baby wrapped in a blanket to protect the tiny child from the freezing cold. Smoke filled the entire building from the ground floor to the roof, and firefighters found victims on every floor, on stairwells, all overcome by smoke. At least 63 people were hurt. Many rushed to 5 hospitals across the Bronx. Residents smashed windows and waved towels and curtains, desperate to flag down help. And through one window, a Christmas tree still standing, a reminder of the lives interrupted by flames. We have every angle of this covered for you, starting with how this fire started. News 4's Mark Santia live in the Fordham Heights section of the Bronx on 181st Street as investigators still search for answers. Mark?
Gilma, a space heater is being blamed for the fire that started on the 3rd floor and stayed on the 3rd floor. It was smoke that traveled throughout this building, leaving victims on every single floor. Daring rescues in the air and on the ground.
But you got a baby, save the baby, yay!
This firefighter cradled a baby in their arms as they inched down a ladder to safety while smoke poured from windows.
Come to the curb, come to the curb.
This firefighter performed CPR on a resident in the middle of 181st Street near Valentine. Person after person rushed out on stretchers, overcome by the thick smoke that snaked up through the hallways and flooded the apartments of Twin Parks Northwest.
It's crazy. All you see is smoke. Darkness.
I make the choice to stay in my bedroom and put wet towels and for the smoke not to come in.
And I noticed smoke coming inside the door, black smoke, and then I just heard people screaming, help, help, help.
Many of those voices, the voices of children.
There was a lot of kids crying, help, help, help.
9 children died. 10 adults also lost their lives. More than 30 people severely injured and dozens left homeless.
It started in a malfunctioning electric space heater. That was the cause of the fire.
And Commissioner Daniel Nigro says what fueled the fire and the smoke.
The door to that apartment, unfortunately, when the residents left, was left open. It did not close by itself. The smoke spread throughout the building.
Tonight, the fire is out, the smoke gone, but the broken windows scattered across the building's facade, a gut-wrenching reminder of the desperation to survive and the heartache for those who are not able to escape.
Kids, mothers. Oh, Lord, it's too much.
The FDNY says smoke detectors inside the building were working. A neighbor heard the alarm and called 911. They also said the heat was working inside this building, but they said the space heater was being used for supplemental heat. That space heater now being blamed for causing 19 deaths. We're live tonight in the Fordham Heights section of the Bronx. I'm Mark Santia, News 4 New York.
Mark, just heartbreaking. Tonight, survivors need a place to stay, clothes to wear, and food to eat. They lost everything here. News 4's Ida Siegel picks up our coverage at a school that served as a shelter and a meeting point. And Ida, there's already been an outpouring of support.
Yeah, Gilma, so many people want to help. They're just devastated by the images that they're watching on the news. Yeah, we're right across the street from MS 391. It was a shelter all day today, but it's empty at this point tonight. And that's because school is scheduled to open in that building in the morning. Meanwhile, the city says every person who was a victim of that fire does have a warm place to sleep tonight. Shell-shocked and thankful to be alive, fire survivors started leaving the shelter they'd been in all day, now searching for a warm place to sleep.
Where are you going tonight?
To my best friend's house around the corner. She told me and my family, she said, come, we're going to make it happen. So I'm thankful for that.
The city has ordered MS 391 be evacuated so the building can open for school on Monday. But the Office of Emergency Management says everyone here will have a place to go.
Anyone that needs a hotel room through the Red Cross and through the building management will be accommodated. It looks like we will be able to have everyone stay in the Bronx, which is great.
Some residents have been allowed back inside the fire building to collect belongings. Others, whose apartments were destroyed, are not able to go back. Everyone here who is able to walk down the street, counting their blessings. The trauma of this fire has left many without words. Stefan Begnawi and his family barely escaped with their lives. Some of their children's friends were not so lucky. Among the 9 who died here are the kids they used to walk to school with in the morning.
Tomorrow is a school day. They're going to ask me what they are friends. They're going to ask me tomorrow what they are friends. Because then go together, then come back together. What I'm going to tell them tomorrow.
The people who survived today left with memories that will haunt them for some time to come.
And the people in all the window crying for help, help, help. No fire escape.
The Red Cross reports tonight that they are now helping 54 adults and 24 children. And by the way, the service center that was in the school behind me is now being moved over to Monroe College on Jerome Avenue. As for people who want to give donations, the mayor is encouraging monetary donations only, and those can be made through the mayor's website. Reporting live from the Fordham Heights section of the Bronx, Ida Siegel, News 4, New York.
Thank you, Ida. And we're hearing heartbreaking stories of loss, but also incredible stories of survival. A mother says a stranger stepped in to save her and her children just as she was losing hope. News 4's Adam Harding spoke to that family and the heroic neighbor tonight at St. Barnabas Hospital. And Adam, the mom, says the stranger carried her child to safety. A very grateful mom tonight.
Gilma, she is just so thankful her little girl is alive. An incredible story here. This Good Samaritan lived near the top of the building. He, like so many, was running down the stairwell trying to evacuate that building when he saw a mom and her children struggling with all of that smoke as it was filling up the building. He asked if they needed help. She said yes. He grabs a 3-year-old little girl, wraps a blanket around her, a jacket, puts her in an ambulance as he and the little girl rush here to St. Barnabas. Tonight, the mother is thankful her little girl is okay.
Say thank you.
With a tiny wave, 3-year-old Queen is now out of the hospital, safe with mom after escaping Sunday's deadly fire in the Bronx.
I cried all day. Even when we got here and I finally see her, I'm still crying because it's so traumatizing. Your day, you wake up thinking your day is going to be like this, and it happens to be something that you was not expecting.
Fatima Woods says she and her children struggled to make it out of the 19-story high-rise.
We were trying to make our way from the 9th floor down to the exit.
The smoke was quickly filling the building. They were stuck. But when they finally reached the stairwell, a stranger stepped in to help.
Me and him bumped into each other. He asked, did we need help bringing the kids down? So I told him, yeah, so he grabbed my daughter.
As soon as I got down, the kid was cold. She didn't have enough clothes. So I took off my jacket and I wrapped up my jacket. Then I went to an ambulance for her to come see if she's okay.
Mohammed Keita didn't hesitate. He says he carried the child to safety, getting her to an ambulance before the rest of her family even made it out. Both were taken to St. Barnabas. They are okay.
I was just sitting down and shaking, like people just going through. They couldn't breathe. They're performing CPR, cardiac arrest. Like, I've never seen something like it. So I was just shaking the whole time.
Without him, what could have happened?
Only God knows. It could have been way worse.
This mother just thankful her little girl is alive.
I can't wait to see him, to show him how thankful I am.
I was just trying to do the right thing, you know. I know at this time everybody was struggling. A lot of people lost their lives, so I was just trying to do the help thing.
You could certainly tell as he was leaving the hospital tonight just how shaken he was by this whole ordeal, but he is thankful he was there to be at the right place at the right time to help this young child. We know tonight both the stranger, Mohammed, and the family, the mom, Fatima, they have now connected tonight. Very thankful. We should also tell you, Fatima, thankful for the fire department. Firefighters eventually helped get her and another child out of the building. Live tonight outside of St. Barnabas, I'm Adam Harding, News 4 New York.
Just incredible stories of bravery. Adam, thank you. This fire will go down as one of the deadliest fires in New York City history. It's about 10 minutes away from the scene of an apartment fire in the Bronx where 13 people died in 2017. In that fire, investigators say the door to the apartment where the flames started was also left open. And it's also about 10 minutes away from the location of the Happy Land fire, where 87 people died inside a nightclub in 1990, the work of an arsonist. The Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire remains the deadliest fire in history. 146 people died in 1911, most of them young women. One of the exits was locked to prevent workers from taking too many breaks. Tonight, this devastating fire, a huge reminder to keep doors closed during a fire because it can save lives. Closing the door behind you can prevent smoke and flames from spreading. In 2018, New York City's Department of Housing Preservation and Development added fire doors to its mandatory inspection checklist. All apartment doors are supposed to be self-closing in the city in buildings with 3 or more units. And if you live in a fireproof building and the fire is not in your unit, it's usually safest to stay inside your unit unless firefighters tell you otherwise. Our team, of course, will stay on top of the story all night long. Look for the very latest developments on Today in New York starting at 4 in the morning. You can also get instant updates by downloading the NBC News 4 New York app. More breaking news on this busy night. The passing of America's TV dad, beloved comedian Bob Saget, has died. What we know about his death and the tributes from his Full House cast members coming in tonight.
And now that the rain is over, the cold is rolling in. Strong winds and dangerous wind chills the next couple of days. We'll talk about that and let you know just how cold it'll feel Tuesday morning. Coming up.
Your day doesn't stop at 7 p.m. and neither does News 4.
We're the Tri-State's newest live and local news at 7.
Breaking news in New York's most accurate forecast, live at 7 p.m. News 4 New York, weeknights at 7.